Hello, everybody, and welcome to Coastline Sports Talk. It is a fabulous day, marking about 3 p.m. right now. It is May the 2nd, 2018. Jonah, you are on the phone again. How are you today?
I'm good, and it's good to be talking Coastline Sports with you, Dylan.
Yeah, that's right. And today we're going to be recapping the month of April and yesterday, May 1st. And we're going to be recapping all the things that have happened in baseball. MLB. We're going to be talking the Rays, how their season has been, the Marlins season, and the Braves. The first thing is that we are going to talk about the Rays. I believe they were on a hot streak. I don't know how that went. For more on that, we're going to kick over to Jonah. How have the Rays been this season?
Well, as we speak, they're actually playing. They are 13 and 15 on the year. Like you said, I think they have been on a little bit of a hot streak lately. The start of the season wasn't too good, but I'd say 13 and 15 coming into the season isn't as bad as you would expect. AL East is great, and over to Dylan talking about the AL East and how great it is.
Yes, that division is slam-packed. You got the sluggers in New York. You got the consistent contact hitting, good pitching Boston Red Sox. You also have the power threat Orioles in that division. And not to mention the Toronto Blue Jays, which will sneak up on you. They're pretty good in home runs, I believe. They are top of the league in home runs, the Toronto Blue Jays. But yeah, the Rays, they're a good ball club. I think they're coming, that big hot streak. They're finding a way to get their outfielders playing time. That's what I was curious about, how they would fit in Carlos Gomez, Malik Smith, Denard Span, all that, along with the centerpiece, Kiermaier. But yeah, they're finding a way to do it, and I'm glad that things are working out in Tampa. And once you get through April, it's good to be about 500, and you can trend upward the rest of the season. So now we're going to talk a little bit of the Marlins. The Marlins are finally getting healthy, and that's a good thing because I believe they had JT Riddle on a rehab assignment to Jacksonville. He has since joined the lineup, I believe. Or maybe he's still in Jacksonville, I'm not sure. But Dan Straley has made a rehab assignment in Double-A as well. And yeah, so the Marlins are finally getting healthy. They have Wei Yin Chen back in that rotation. Martin Prado and JT Realmuto are off the DL, and that's really big because their record hasn't been as good without their star players.
Yeah, I would say I would agree with you for sure. But just whenever I think of the Marlins, I do think of top three worst teams this year. But
Yes.
I feel like they'll be high in the draft, obviously. So if they get a good draft pick and just good farm system, they'll find a way to get back on top in the next few years.
Yes, I agree with you on that one. It's sad to say because the Marlins, they were there. They were there. They were a good ball club. And then, of course, tragedy struck with Jose Fernandez. And then after that, it all started to go downhill, which is very unfortunate. But yeah, they need to find a way to get back and active. And they have some young players on that ball club that can hopefully make an impression for years to come. So yeah, that recaps some of the Marlins. So now we're going to talk some things Braves. And the Braves are loaded with young talent. And I mean loaded with young talent. They have Ozzie Albies at second base. He's 21, 22. They have Dansby Swanson. He's in his low 20s at shortstop. A young third baseman, Johan Camargo. He is also very young. And they have called up Ronald Acuna, who we have been talking about for multiple weeks on here, and he's their top prospect. And he got the call up. He's 20 years old, and in his first game, he got a base hit, and that's what you hope for. And he scored the winning run against the Reds. So yeah, he's doing well. They called up Mike Soroka last night, 20-year-old right-hander. He made his major league debut and pitched very well against a good Mets ball club. He outpitched Syndergaard in that one.
Yeah, everything you just said was very relevant, and I feel like the Braves, I didn't think they were going to be relevant this year, But second place, that's insane to me. I feel like they could make a playoff run, to be honest. I don't really see a World Series in their near future, as in AKA this year. But what do you think? Do you think they could win a World Series?
I don't think a World Series is, due to the lack of playoff experience on that roster, I don't think a World Series is capable of them this season, but you never know. Soroka gets pitching. He's good. They got the lefty Newcomb. He's really good. And they got their ace, Julio Teheran, who I believe might be dealt if they struggle. And I think that the Braves have so much young arms. They got Kyle Wright down there in the minor leagues. They have all these good pitchers, Colby Allard, Luis Gohara, all in the minor league system. And they also have Matt Whistler, and he came up and he's made a couple good starts this season. And yeah, their rotation is slam packed for the future. And I don't see how Julio Teheran fits in their plans with all these young arms, besides being a veteran presence. But yeah, and their outfield's good. They got Acuna. He's going to be their left fielder of the future, possibly right fielder. And then they have Inciarte in center field, who is one of the best fielding and contact outfielders in the game. And the right fielder, Markakis, he's aging a bit. They have another good prospect in the minor leagues that is a right fielder. So, yeah, they're really set for the future, and then they're winning ball games now. I think they remind me of a Cubs team, I believe 2014-15. Not as bad as 14, but not as good as 15. Maybe about 8 games over 500, would you say?
Yeah, the Cubs too. Yeah, I feel like the Cubs 2015 team is definitely it's a good comparison, because the Cubs that year, even though Cubs fans were very excited for that year and thought they could win a World Series, they came up a little short, getting swept to the Mets. But it was the following year that just like they added a couple pieces, and you just felt like, wow, this is a World Series team. That could be the Braves next year.
Yes, that's true. And if I'm not going to say it, I'm just letting history get ahead of itself, but Freddie Freeman is an injury-prone guy, and if something were to happen to him or any infielders or corner outfielders, they also have Jose Bautista, who has some playoff experience bat flipping in the playoffs, and maybe they can call him up, get his swing right, and he can make an impression if he finds playing time on that roster. I'm really surprised with the Braves, and I think they can do some really nice stuff this season.
Yeah, staying on Freddie Freeman, I mean, this guy, man, I'm happy for him, because he's finally found a team that has a winning record, most likely at the end of the year.
Yes. He went, if you don't mind me talking for a second, he went out in his interview yesterday and he said, well, guys, it's been up and down since we've been here. And he said, and after seeing what Soroka, guy that pitched last night, he said, after seeing what he did tonight.
I thought that was a gas station.
Yeah. He said, after seeing that in the Braves youth, because Albies, Acuna, they all played well last night, and they got the win, and he drove in a couple runs. And he said, there is going to be winning in the Braves' future, and that just gets me excited immediately, because when you have a team leader like him finally getting some pieces around him that can help the team win, that's really good. And I'm excited for this team's future and right now. They're a fun team to watch because they're so young, the speed, the power, and the pitching. So, yeah, I believe they're a great ball club.
That's the one thing I don't see why they would go on to win a World Series, because of the pitching.
Yes, I think the pitching is 1 year behind the team's hitters as it comes to development.
Very well.
They can't rush the pitchers up, because then they might struggle a little bit. I believe the White Sox did that last year. They rushed Giolito up. He got knocked around. Carson Fulmer got rushed up by the White Sox. But yeah, so you can't rush these guys up. You can't speed up their time. So I believe with you 100%. their hitting is obviously there, but their pitching might lack them a run in the playoffs if they even make it. I don't know, but yeah, if they rush the pitchers up and they become great right then you never know. But wouldn't that be something if the Braves won the World Series this year?
Yeah, they kind of remind me of a 2017 Twins team.
Yes, that's true. You're right on. Twins.
Surprising that the Twins made the playoffs. And well, if the Braves made the playoffs, don't you think that'd be a little surprising?
Yes, it would, because the Twins in 2016 had 100 losses, and then the following season they made the wild card game and were essentially one bad inning away from moving on.
Against the Yankees.
Yep. Yes. Byron Buxton got injured, their star center fielder, and it went downhill from there. But yeah, and let's kick it back a little bit to the Marlins. I don't think we touched on them enough. So,
alrighty.
The Marlins, you got the guys on the team. You got JT Realmuto, Justin Bour, all these guys. Do you see the Marlins moving any more of their pieces, or do you think that they're going to build with these guys?
I think you can start to see them move pieces because the pitching's obviously not there yet, but I feel like they have like JT Realmuto. Has he batted lead off this year at all?
Yes, he's a catcher that leads off.
Okay, and he's a pretty young fella.
Yeah, he's a good catcher. And he expressed when all the guys were being moved, he expressed that he would also like to be moved along with Starlin Castro on that ball club. Both guys are not happy that they are there, but they're making the best of it. So I don't know what's going to happen to them, but you never know. I
actually can see him moving Castro and Realmuto and getting pretty good pieces like young pitchers out of it.
Yes, and I look to a team that lacks in the catching position, if you will. And if the Milwaukee Brewers stay hot, I believe that they will sell the farm to Miami yet again, as they did for Christian Yelich, and they will go after a proven young catcher in JT Realmuto to strengthen that Brewers roster. And I also look to another good team, and that would be the New York Mets. And they, if they can get hot, I think that they will make a move at the deadline, maybe sell some of their young pitchers, and they can get a guy like Realmuto. But that's in division, so you never know.
But, you said get hot, but I feel like it's just stay hot at this point.
Yeah, the Mets are really good out of the gate. That whole NL East has been pretty well. I've been surprised that the Nationals haven't been winning as many games as people thought. Dave Martinez isn't doing too well of a job right now. So, yeah, that's interesting, the Marlins. And now kick it to the Rays again. I also didn't think we touched on them enough. We talked a lot about the Braves. So, the Rays, they have... Do you think that they will move any guys at the deadline if they continue to, let's say, stay around 500?
Honestly, I don't think they make any big moves if that's what you're asking. But
yeah,
I feel like the Rays are set up for 2-3 years down the road.
Yeah, they need some depth. They have Johnny Field. They have all these young guys. Brent Honeywell, the pitcher that throws a screwball in the minor league system, and they have young talent, but I think they can get a little bit better. They can move small guys, not their ace Chris Archer. They're not going to move any big guys, but if they were to go small, they'd move a guy like maybe Carlos Gomez if he latches on to another postseason team. Or maybe they go far enough and they trade someone else. You never know.
Yeah, with lack of depth, as you touched on, I think I kind of like it because the Rays managing and coaching is giving the kind of young guys a chance. Like you saw Johnny Field get a start the other week or 2 weeks. It doesn't matter.
Yes, but he's been playing a lot for them, so that's really good. I'm glad to see the young guys getting in for the Tampa Ball Club.
Yes, I agree.
All right, so that's going to wrap it up for today. Jonah, thanks for joining me.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
All right, it's going to be a good one. Hope you guys have a good day.